Real life street stars. Know what time it is.
So, back to the diamond game, right? So you do this the first time. How long after that were you able to run this game up before things come crumbling down? Like, how long were you able to keep?
I would say I had a 2.5-year run.
A 2.5-year run
Yeah.
getting jewelry?
Getting jewelry. I was traveling. I literally pick a state on the map who has a diamond district and go to that state.
Right.
From Chicago to New York, from New York to Detroit,
Right.
from Detroit to Miami. Whoever had a diamond district, I was going. And from me going so much, I started studying diamonds. Like, you know, when I go in the store, the sales associate asked me, he like, "Are you a gemologist?" I was like, "No, I just know the art of diamonds." I go in there and ask for a magnifying glass. Let me see your magnifying glass.
Right.
I want to see if there's any inclusions in these diamonds.
Right.
So when you go in there, that's anywhere. Even if you go inside the candy store, you go in there, you know what you're talking about. They're not gonna second guess you. And then your aura,
Right.
you know, it speaks volume. You walk in there with confidence, like you know what you want. It wasn't well, how much is this? It was, I'm looking for an oyster perpetual day presidential, his and hers.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this, right? Because you walk in as a woman, right? A beautiful woman. Do you feel like it was easier for you, or do you think a man could replicate the same action back in that same time frame?
No. It was easier for a woman to do it.
Right. And why do you think that is? It's just because nobody was suspected right after
Nobody was suspected. You have to go in there with confident speaking knowledge as far as what you want. You can't go in there. Don't get me wrong. I was nervous times when I used to go in the candy store. I was extremely nervous, but I didn't let that stop me.
Right.
I still went in there and I needed cash advance off my Visa for $8,500 and wasn't turning around until I got it. The object of the game is to get to the phone. Once you get to the phone, it's golden.
Man. Now, you did end up making the Boston Globe, right? And they end up actually saying, I'm not going to say your name, but they did name another person in there. And they said, y'all used prepaid credit cards in May to steal from 2 jewelry stores, as well as other stores in Newburgh Street. And then basically that's how y'all got caught, basically. Can you detail when it all came crashing down, right? Because you have an interesting story on how you even got caught. Because my question was, you're going from jewelry store to jewelry store. At some point, does the feds not catch on to you? Does nobody catch on to that game? You know what I mean? If you're able to hit licks like this, at some point, somebody got to be like, hey, we're missing some money. We're getting a chargeback. We're doing something. Like, nobody.
So they had you know how all states have an officer like you better be careful about.
Right.
Don't run into, I can't remember this officer name, but when I tell you like he was known in the Bay Area, what is this officer name? John, I can't remember this officer name, but T. Jones, that was his name. Baby, you better stay clear, T. Jones. Like he was that officer, he knew everything that was going on in the hood, but they couldn't understand like how was the transaction, how was the transactions transpiring? Like how was they getting this money?
Right.
How is they going in here and getting this money off a prepaid card, a card that don't work, but you going in here and you getting this money? They couldn't understand this. So when we going inside the candy store, you know, we got we have our credit card, and
right.
You know, it's eyes in the sky. We already rememberizing the 1-800 number that is going to the co-conspirator.
Right.
So we looking down at the card. You know, it's eyes in the skies again. We looking down at the card, but we already dialing the 1-800 number. So they probably thinking it on the cameras. Well, they dialed the 1-800 number. Like, what's going on? Like,
right.
They calling the number on the back of the credit card.
Yeah.
And the lady on the phone is asking for our Visa merchant number. This all sounds sufficient.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give this nice lady her $8,500, and she's gonna continue on with her day and leave out. I don't know. I can't even, when I even look back and think about it, I'd be thinking like, you got to have some strong balls to go inside of bank after bank after bank, asking for this amount of money at such a young age. You have to have confidence. You have to go in there and know that this is your money and you coming out with your money. I never got turned down.
You know what's so crazy? I used to work at Fry's Electronics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they actually used to let the people who steal get away the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would put their face on the wall
They didn't
and
do that
offer a
here.
bounty. Because their whole thing was when you steal and get away with it, you get this level of confidence that you're going to be able to get away with it again. Was that what you feel like what it was? Because, you know, at some point, it's not even a thought in your mind that it's dangerous. It's like, oh, this is easy work. This is light work. We finna go in there and get these watches.
It was greed. I didn't think I was going to ever get caught. Honestly, I really didn't think I would ever got caught.
And you may never have if it didn't come to this circumstance about this U-turn. Tell them about the U-turn.
If it didn't come to the circumstances, we was on our way to meet a client. This was my first time dealing with this client. And being that it was my first time dealing with this certain particular client, I wanted to have all the receipts and everything to show him that I wasn't trying to finesse him. I wasn't trying to get over on him.
Right.
Because he had put in an order for 2-carat single stone, single diamonds. I wasn't getting the diamonds in a ring that was already, you know.
Yeah.
I was getting single diamonds. So he had wanted a 2-carat single diamond for his wife I guess he was going to put it in a ring. But anyways, so we were on our way to Lake Merritt to meet him, leaving from East Oakland.
Got you.
And we had drove by the bar station. The bar station is like Metro, like it's something that it's like a a train that goes to one side to Oakland to Berkeley or whatever.
Yeah.
So we had was on our way there, and I made a legal U-turn, and the sheriff pulled me over. And when he pulled me over, he asked for my driver's license and my insurance. I gave him my driver's license and my insurance. I already knew. Me and my play sister, who used to go with me everywhere, she was in the car with me. I already knew it was over because I was on probation for an incident that occurred where one of my workers had went inside of a candy store, and the teller had called the 1-800 number back. The teller let the young lady get away with the money, but she still felt a suspicion on my worker, and she called the 1-800 number back. So they had ended up giving me probation for that. So I had a 3-way search clause. So he gets my license and registration. He comes back to the car. He says, "Miss So-and-so, we see that you have a 3-way search clause. We're going to have to search the car." Search the vehicle. Everything was in the car. I end up giving the stones to my play sister and the receipts to her. And that didn't help. They searched her too. Took everything. They ended up calling Boston while we was still there, while they were still searching the car.
Damn.
The sheriff. Yeah.